Hello everyone, this is a quick start guide on how to get started with Premiere Composer. After you install and open the Mr. Horse Product Manager, you will be asked to log in. If you don't have an account yet, click here to create one for free. I just click here to install Premiere Composer and also the starter pack. And I'm good to go. To launch Premiere Composer in Premiere, go to Window, Extensions, Premiere Composer. Let's start with transitions. Here we have two clips, and I want to add a transition between these two clips. I'll select the transitions folder to see all the transitions. Let's say that I want to use this camera pan effect. This little burger icon indicates that there are more variations of the same item. If you want to see all the variations together, just open the folder and select the transition. Let's say that I want to use the left. I'll drag the item to the timeline. And here I go. You can see that there is also the sound. If you want to add the transition without it, just uncheck this checkbox. And then, if you add something, it will add it without the sound. I'll just press undo to remove the transition. You can move the transition around if you want to reposition it. It's grouped by default. If you want to edit it and you need to ungroup it, you just press Command or Ctrl-Shift-G. Then you can select the individual clips and, for example, shorten the transition. Please note that it's possible to shorten the transitions, but making them longer will not work in most cases. Let's check out the text presets. I'll select the folder and let's add, for example, this one. I'll drag it to the timeline and preview. I can double-click the text to change it, and I can change the length directly in the timeline. To change the font and other settings, I go to Window, I open the Essential Graphics panel and make sure that I'm in the Edit tab. Now, having the clip selected, I can change the font, change the size, reposition it. By the way, using the Selection tool, and even if the clip is deselected, when I double-click next to the text, I can move it around. And I can also change some stuff like tracking. Now let's talk about the animation. The sliders that affect the animation are inside this animation group. If I position the playhead to the beginning, this, for example, affects the animation of the position. Now it animates 400 pixels on the x-axis and 100 on the y-axis. If you change the x position to 0, it will not animate the x position at all. It animates only y position, rotation and scale. Now let's take a look at the text boxes. By the way, here I can change the zoom. I'll select this one and drag it to the timeline. Again, I'll double-click the text to change it to something like subscribe, because you definitely should subscribe to our YouTube channel, right? I'll select the Selection tool, double-click here, and move it around. Oh yeah, as I have double-clicked the layer to change the text, the Essential Graphics panel has opened automatically. Down here I can change the size of the text box, then I can change, for example, the font, and the skew, and also the color. Yeah, black is great. I can also change the box. For example, I can change the stroke or remove it completely. I can add the fill. I can make the corners rounded. And I can change the padding of the box. I can change the duration on the timeline. And here we go. So yeah, subscribe. Now let's take a look at the sound effects. I'll select the Sounds folder and select the first sound. Click again to deselect it. By the way, you can use arrow keys on your keyboard to move around. The right arrow key always selects the next sound. You can reverse the sound. You can change the pitch. Let's take a look at something else. I'll reset. To add a sound, just drag it to your timeline. One more cool thing is that you can select it, change the pitch, and click the replace button. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Enjoy the free plugin and subscribe if you liked this. More awesome stuff is coming up soon.